Hello, writers. Welcome to week 3 of English 122, English Composition 2. When you write academically, when you try to combine sources and outside information with your own writing to generate an academic paper, there are really two sort of secret weapons to help you make the most powerful and effective essays you can. One of those is to really listen to and respond to the feedback you get. The other is to get familiar with, even get comfortable with, proper integration of your sources with APA citation. Lucky for you, here in week 3 of English 122, we're going to do both of those things. Now, if you haven't already attended a live learning session, try and get to one this week. If you're absolutely unable to attend, it's important to inform your instructor early on. They can help you with a solution. Okay, let's take a look at the classroom. This week, you've got a bit of a respite from the heavy lifting of building toward your final assignment, but stay close to it. Here we are in week 3 of English 122. All the assignments and activities are located under this module. The overview tells us you've got 2 discussion forums and a research notebook. Read through that introduction. Now, discussion forum 1, the first of your 2 discussion forums this week, asks you to think about the way that we respond to feedback. We all get feedback all the time. We get it from other people. We get it in a classroom in the form of grades, rubrics, and comments. It comes at us from a variety of different directions, but it's not always something that we're prepared to hear or ready to hear. I don't mean necessarily that it's negative feedback. I just mean that sometimes we're not in the right frame of mind to really hear the feedback. After that, then you have to act upon the feedback, making changes to the way you do things in order to improve. That kind of growth mindset is really important to mastering the writing process in this discussion forum. We're going to read an outside source here. It's linked right here in the prompt. You're going to think a little bit about the feedback you've received and how we respond to it. It's not just the number grades, as I said, it's not just the rubric categories, but the comments that you get. And we're going to learn a little bit better how to decode some of that stuff. Look, I'm a professor. Sometimes I will be discussing a concept with a student and they will either hear something different than what I've said, or I will intend something a little bit differently than what I'm saying. We could all use a good dose of clarity, and that's what we're going to do here. That's what this article is going to help us do, to put us in that right frame of mind to really receive and then act upon feedback. Your discussion forum is going to ask you to describe how you're going to more intentionally listen, more openly receive, and proactively respond to feedback. You're going to think about some different steps you can take, and you're going to think about particular aspects of feedback that you've gotten, maybe in this class, maybe at work, maybe at home, and talk about them a little bit. You don't necessarily have to share the exact feedback you've gotten, but what you're talking about are the steps you want to take toward improving how to hear and receive that feedback, and then use it to change yourself, to charge yourself up to the next level. Your second discussion this week is about the importance of properly vetting, incorporating, and citing your sources. This is, after all, a course focused on research writing. We're regularly engaging with texts that don't originate with us and having to figure out how it amplifies what we're trying to say while giving credit to the authors. First, we need to evaluate the validity of a source. Is it credible? Is it scholarly? Is it accurate? Is it biased? And if it is valid, then we need to find targeted excerpts from it that we will then use as quotes in our own writing to build our credibility as authors. There's something to think about. When you write a paper, you're an author too. As an author, you want to be sure that you're presenting a solid argument that is backed up by research, the scholarship of experts in the field. Part of demonstrating your own credibility is building your argument on top of the credible work of others. If you're writing about issues in higher education, for instance, and I can see you're citing a well-known expert in the field of education, I'll be inclined to view your work as credible. You've got backup. Now, the research notebook this week builds on exactly this. In it, you'll begin to integrate research into your analysis and practice proper APA citation of those sources you're using. All of this is intended to put you one step closer to writing a clear, coherent, well-supported essay on the topic or issue you've been focusing on these past few weeks. That's what week 3 looks like here in English 122. It's a crucial step along the way. Week 3 is the midpoint. This is where you're able to expand what you did in week 2 and start to branch out and create that plan for success in weeks 4 and 5.